You check your passport one last time, flatten the crease on your boarding pass, and zip up the carry-on you've packed as perfectly as you can. In your mind, you're fully prepared. But 2026 has rewritten the rules in a way no one was ready for. Travelers are still walking into airports the way they did years ago, completely unaware that TSA screening has become sharper, faster, and far less forgiving than ever before. Officers aren't just looking for weapons or suspicious shapes anymore. They're stopping people for everyday household items that sit quietly in bathrooms, kitchens, gym lockers, and bedroom drawers across America. And here's the part that hurts the most. People are losing things they use daily without even realizing they've crossed a rule they didn't know existed. If you care about saving time, avoiding unexpected searches, and not watching your belongings disappear forever into that cold gray security bin, then listen very carefully. Because today we're breaking down 10 surprisingly ordinary items TSA will confiscate in 2026, including one that's causing massive delays for older travelers every single week. Ready? Let's start with the one almost every traveler carries without thinking twice. Item 10. Protein powder and pancake mix. Picture this for a moment. You toss a tub of your favorite protein powder into your bag. It's sealed, clean, harmless, maybe vanilla or chocolate, something you've taken 100 times before. To you, it's just fuel for your morning routine. But in 2026, TSA doesn't see it the way you do. Anything in powder form that crosses the 12-ounce limit instantly gets pushed into enhanced screening. The same high-risk inspection level used for dangerous materials. And this doesn't only include protein shakes. Even pancake mix, baby formula, instant coffee creamer, electrolyte blends, flour, and matcha are all now treated the exact same way. Most travelers have no idea why, but under an X-ray, certain explosive powders can appear almost identical to harmless supplements. That's the catch. One businessman told me he missed an entire connection because his unlabeled collagen powder had to be tested 3 separate times before TSA cleared it. Many people report 20 to 30 minute delays just because they were carrying something they pack every week for the gym. The solution isn't dramatic, but it saves you from a miserable experience. Keep each powder under 12 ounces, label everything clearly, and pack it so officers can see it instantly. If you want to be extra safe, pre-portion only what you need. A minute of preparation at home is far better than watching agents tear through your bag while your boarding group is already walking through the gate. Item 9. Smart luggage with non-removable batteries. You know that feeling when you roll a brand new smart suitcase through the airport? GPS tracking, digital locks, built-in charging. It feels like traveling with a little piece of the future. But in 2026, that same high-tech bag can stop your entire journey before it even starts. TSA is now treating any smart suitcase with a built-in lithium battery that cannot be removed by hand as a genuine fire risk. And when TSA labels something a hazard, there is no debate, no negotiation, no quick fix at the counter. Airlines follow the rule just as strictly. A single overheating battery in the cargo hold can trigger what's called a thermal runaway fire, a chain reaction that spreads so fast and burns so hot that crew members can't physically reach it once it begins. Because of that, several premium suitcase brands had to redesign their products from the inside out just to meet the updated 2026 standards. So before you proudly roll up to the airport with your $400 smart bag, check whether the battery pops out easily without any tools. If it does, remove it and pack it in your carry-on. If it doesn't, security may take the entire suitcase away. One more thing most travelers don't know. Some airlines have begun asking for proof that your battery is removable. Having a screenshot or PDF saved on your phone can save you from a very stressful conversation at the check-in counter. Item 8. Water bottles with hidden compartments. Water bottles used to be the simplest thing to carry through security. Empty it out, toss it in the tray, pick it up on the other side. But in 2026, something new created unexpected problems. Bottles with hidden compartments. Many modern reusable bottles come with double layers, false bottoms, and twist-off storage spaces meant for vitamins or small items. The strange part is that some travelers don't even know their bottle has a hollow section inside, but TSA officers see thousands of bags every single day, and anything that even looks like it might contain a concealed pocket turns into an instant delay. One traveler said her expensive metal bottle was confiscated because the base looked too hollow on the X-ray. She kept insisting it was insulation, but if officers can't verify it on the spot, it doesn't matter. The item goes straight into the confiscation pile. The safest approach for 2026 is surprisingly simple. Travel with a bottle that's completely transparent, with no hidden layers, no false bottoms, and no secret storage of any kind. And of course, make sure it's empty before you step into the screening line. In a year where TSA is tightening every small detail, even something as innocent as a water bottle can become the reason you're pulled aside. Reusable bottles used to be the easiest thing to travel with. Empty it, toss it in the bin, walk through, done. But in 2026, a surprising new issue exploded: hidden compartments. There's now a booming market for insulated bottles that have secret storage spaces built into the base or inside the walls. People use them for pills, vitamins, supplements. Some travelers don't even realize their bottle has a concealed bottom or double-layered design. TSA agents, though, see thousands of bags every single day. Their eyes instantly know when something looks like a hiding spot. I've heard of people losing $70 stainless steel bottles simply because the base looked hollow on the X-ray. One woman tried explaining that her bottle was extra insulated. The agent didn't care. If they can't verify it on the spot, the item is gone. If you want zero drama at the checkpoint, the fix is simple. Stick to clear, transparent bottles with no detachable base, no secret sections, nothing that looks suspicious, and always emptied before security. Item 7. External laptop batteries. Over 100 watt hours. Tech-savvy travelers get hit the hardest with this rule. You pack a high-capacity external battery so you can work on a long flight. Smart idea, in theory. But in 2026, TSA has become more strict than ever about battery watt hours, and anything above 100 watt hours triggers problems. If your battery crosses the 100 watt hour limit, airlines require special approval. If it goes beyond around 160 watt hours, it's completely banned. No exceptions, no, but I didn't know. No last-minute negotiation at the counter. Most travelers don't realize they're carrying an oversized battery until TSA pulls it aside. And here's the nasty part: if the label is faded, missing, or even slightly hard to read, TSA won't calculate the capacity. They won't guess. They treat it as suspicious, and that means you either surrender it or miss your flight while arguing. High-capacity power banks marketed to photographers, remote workers, and creators often cross a limit without warning. And because modern laptops in 2026 demand more power than ever, more people are accidentally traveling with batteries that break the rules. The safest move: check your battery rating before packing. Make sure the watt hours are printed clearly. And remember, power banks must go in your carry-on, never in checked luggage where rules are even stricter. A few seconds of prep can save you a lot of stress and a lot of money. Item 6. Toys that resemble weapons. You're packing for a trip with kids or grandkids. You throw in a foam sword, a bright toy blaster, maybe a lightsaber, or an action figure with a tiny plastic gun. It all feels harmless. But in 2026, TSA doesn't see toys. They see potential threats. Their rule is painfully simple. If an item looks like a weapon, even for a moment, it can be taken away on the spot, no matter how fake it is. Families get pulled out of line because a toy pistol was buried at the bottom of a backpack. Entire checkpoints slow down because a replica sword or cosplay prop triggered extra screening. One traveler headed to a convention watched an expensive collector's replica get tossed into a bin without a second thought. The logic is strict but clear. Anything that looks like it could panic another passenger is a problem. If you're traveling with kids or going to an event involving costumes or props, the safest move is to ship those items ahead of time or buy them at your destination. Otherwise, be ready to lose them at security. Item 5. Camping gear and tent stakes. Adventure travelers get hit especially hard with this one. You pack your ultralight tent, your titanium stakes, that sleek collapsible stove you spent too much money on. It all feels practical. You're headed straight into the outdoors after landing, but the moment these items go through X-ray in 2026, TSA sees something completely different. Tent stakes, no matter how thin, polished, or harmless they seem, show up on scanners as sharp metal spikes. Agents treat them like potential weapons. I've watched hikers lose entire sets of gear because those tiny metal tips look dangerous on the monitor. Chambers look suspicious until examined piece by piece. If your trip involves outdoor gear, the safest strategy is simple. Put all camping tools in checked luggage. In your carry-on, these items are the fastest way to get flagged and delayed. Item 4. Camping stoves, attachments, and fuel. Even the camp stove becomes a problem in 2026. Some collapsible models have sharp edges, metal wings, or small attachments that, on an X-ray, look almost identical to multi-tools or compact blades. One traveler told me he had to surrender a $300 titanium stove because a tiny adapter on the side resembled a cutting tool. No intent, no danger, but TSA only sees the shape, and then there's the fuel. This part is absolute. All fuel is banned. Any kind, any size, any form. Gas canisters, pressure cartridges, liquid fuel bottles, every single one is prohibited in both carry-on and checked bags. Not questionable. Not maybe allowed. Just flat out banned. If you're a camping lover, the reality is frustrating but simple. Don't travel with your expensive gear. Ship it ahead. Rent it when you land. Buy it locally. Because in 2026, carrying hardcore camping gear in your backpack is basically asking to get pulled out of line. Item 3. Certain prescription medications. This is the one that rattles travelers the most, especially seniors. You pack your medications the same way you have for years. A weekly pill organizer, a small Ziploc, maybe a few loose tablets from a larger bottle. Nothing unusual until TSA stops you. In 2026, a number of common prescriptions trigger far more scrutiny than people expect. Sleep aids that seem harmless, anti-anxiety meds, painkillers with controlled ingredients like codeine, even certain allergy pills. Many of these appear on federal substance watch lists. And the moment these pills appear unmarked, mixed together, or out of their original container, the burden of proof is on you. I've heard story after story of older travelers being pulled into secondary screening because they couldn't immediately prove what a pill was. Some missed their flights. One woman felt like she was being interrogated simply because the pharmacy label on her bottle had faded. The rule in 2026 is unforgiving. If TSA cannot identify a pill instantly, they can confiscate it. And if they suspect it belongs to a controlled category, you may face temporary detainment while they confirm your prescription. Your only protection is preparation. Keep medications in their original bottles with clear pharmacy labels. Carry printed prescriptions for international travel or controlled meds. Bring a brief doctor's note explaining your medical need. It sounds extreme, but in 2026, one tiny pill can derail an entire vacation. Item 2. Electric razors and devices with unclear batteries, like electric razors, toothbrushes, beard trimmers, items so normal that no one even thinks about them. Yet in 2026, these tiny devices are causing surprise bag searches everywhere. Not because of the blades, but because of the batteries hidden inside them. Many older grooming tools, and especially devices purchased overseas, use lithium batteries that don't meet updated US safety standards. The real twist is that tons of these gadgets don't list their battery specs anywhere on the outside. No watt hours, no voltage, no label at all. So when TSA sees your razor on the scanner and can't verify the battery, they fall back to their default rule. If they can't confirm the battery is safe, it doesn't fly. Travelers report losing electric toothbrushes, beard trimmers, even medical grooming devices simply because the label rubbed off. Packing them in checked luggage is even riskier. Battery confiscations in the cargo context are twice as strict. The safest approach, if a device doesn't show clear battery information, bring a backup or upgrade before your trip. And keep these items in your carry-on so you can explain them if needed. It's a tiny detail, but tiny details are exactly what TSA is targeting in 2026. Item 1. DIY snacks wrapped in foil. You think you're being smart, saving money, avoiding overpriced airport food, so you pack a homemade sandwich or wrap a burrito in foil to keep it warm and neat. But the moment that foil hits the X-ray belt, your clever idea becomes a problem. Aluminum foil is practically invisible to scanners. It blocks the image, turning your lunch into a solid, opaque block that could be hiding anything. Agents can't see inside it, can't identify it, and can't clear it. So what happens? The bag gets pulled, the food gets unwrapped, you get delayed. And half the time, if the agent is rushed, the food gets confiscated anyway. In 2026, even your sandwich can slow down an entire checkpoint. TSA officers are trained to halt anything they can't clearly see through. That means your carefully packed snack wrapped in shiny foil suddenly becomes a trigger for a full bag inspection. Travelers often lose 15 to 20 minutes as agents meticulously unwrap sandwiches, peel back foil, and examine each layer like it's a miniature crime scene. Some even miss connecting flights, all because their lunch looks suspicious. And make no mistake, you're not breaking any rule. Food is completely allowed. The issue is foil. It blocks X-rays and turns a simple sandwich into a solid, opaque mass that security has to investigate. If you want to breeze through, switch to clear containers, plastic wrap, or parchment paper. They pass through scanners effortlessly, and nobody has to dismantle your lunch mid-queue. In 2026, when more travelers than ever are carrying homemade food, this tiny adjustment can be the difference between a smooth journey and unnecessary delays. This category catches travelers completely off guard, particularly anyone carrying cultural or spiritual belongings. In 2026, TSA pays much closer attention to powders, herbs, and scented items, especially if they are unmarked or could be seen as flammable. Incense sticks, loose herbal blends, ceremonial powders, and even sacred sand used in religious rituals can suddenly trigger intense scrutiny. The frustrating part? Officers don't always recognize the cultural or spiritual significance of these objects. I've heard stories of travelers losing items they'd carried for decades, simply because the screener couldn't verify what they were or didn't understand their purpose. Anything with a strong aroma, lacking labels, or resembling a fine powder can draw questions. The safest approach is simple. Label everything clearly, pack it in your carry-on, and be ready to calmly explain its use. For international trips or rare items, bring a short note or documentation detailing its cultural or religious purpose. It can be the difference between keeping it or losing it in a bin. These items often carry deep meaning, but TSA focuses on risk, not significance. If this breakdown helped you avoid a stressful airport moment, hit that like button. Subscribe for real travel intel that actually saves you time, money, and stress. And tell me in the comments, which one of these items surprised you the most? I read every story, and we feature the best in future videos. Safe travels, and I'll see you on the next one.